I did not know what to do. I had no job. Sure, I moved to the UK for a master's, but I also wanted a part-time job. While I was still looking for a part-time job, I just the skill I have right now is photography. So I decided to use that instead. The idea of street photography is that you're able to tell a story behind whatever you're taking. You can decide to just see something pretty and take a picture, and that's also street photography. But somewhere in my mind, I create stories for people.
Why did you get into content creation?
Because of the fact that the algorithm is built to kind of favor video content. When you do content creation surrounding photography is pictures. If your social media platform isn't favoring pictures in that time, you have to find a way around it. And so I used those videos I got and the pictures I got to get my first set of at least 10 clients when I got to London.
Wow.
Yes. I think photography meets fashion even before you start creating the outfits.
What made you say so?
If you're going to make a suit, let me use you as an example. When you start thinking, oh, what color of outfit do I want to use? What kind of material do I want to use? Do you somehow subconsciously also think, how would it look in a picture?
Yeah, I do.
Exactly. That's where it starts. Where photography starts is from the ideation, or whether it's models or stylists or the tailors themselves, like the designers themselves. One thing that you should majorly focus on is how you can present what you have created to the world. How would they see it? And being able to pick the right photographer for your designs is also very important.
Welcome to another episode of Trades and Profit with Michael Ekulor. And today, before we get into the conversation, outfits of the day as we usually do. Today I'm wearing, I don't even know what to call the details of my jackets for today. Today I'm wearing a blazer from 1219 Styles, and the idea is to have the blazer as a standalone, and I paired it up with a black trouser, white shirt, and a black tie, a beige shoe, and with that, add the outfit of the day. Hello, Tolu. How you doing? It's nice to have you on Trades and Profits. Finally, we're getting to do this.
Yeah.
So let's do this.
This episode is brought to you by 1219 Styles. For quality bespoke suits crafted to perfection, all from the comfort of your home. Schedule a virtual measurement today at www.1219styles.co.uk.
Welcome to another episode of Trades and Profits. Trades and Profits is where we have conversation with different creators from different sphere of life, united by purpose. And here I would like to say that most of our guests, not most, in short, all our guests are stylish people, and they are people in the space of fashion. And so today I have a guest with me, a beautiful young lady. I remember the first time when we met. It was, what's it called? Can you remember how we met?
I remember how we met. I don't remember the name of the street, but I just went out for street photography.
Yeah, it was, what's it called? I'm trying to remember. Covent Garden, yeah. We met.
It was Covent Garden.
Yeah. We met at Covent Garden sometimes last year. We've gone out for a shoot with my team, and we've been shooting for over 8 hours.
Really?
Then I sat on my box, tired, trying to spot my friend. And it's so amazing that in that second where I was sat on my box, I was thinking about how will I find my friends and all of that. I heard the voice there which says that, oh, you just stay calm. I'm going to send you somebody who will take you to your friend. Because my my network was bad. I couldn't reach them and all of that. And then I just saw this person who showed up and said, are you an influencer? Because you look good. I will bring back the pictures from that shoot.
Yeah.
I will bring it back. And then this lady just said to me, oh, you look so good. You look stylish. I would like to take photographs of you. And boom, what's your name? Tolu. Tolu happened to be my immediate younger sister name. And yeah, we clicked off just like a shorter click. And and today we are here doing this. So today I have Tolu
AJG.
AJG.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have Tolu AJG. What does AJG mean?
Well, it's my father's surname. It's not my surname anymore because I'm married. But means Ajagbe.
Ajagbe.
Yeah. So my last name was Tolu Ajagbe.
Okay.
So I kind of shortened the Ajagbe to AJG as my brand name.
Oh.
So most people actually know me as either Tolu Ajayi or AJG.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I, Tolu Ajayi.
G.
Tolu Ajayi, welcome to Trades and Profits. It's nice having you here today.
Thank you very much.
And congratulations on your wedding. How have you been? How was life with you?
I've been good. Life has been good. Yeah, life has actually been very good. So to introduce myself, hi, my name is Tolu Ajayi. I'll say Tolu Ajayi Ali because, like I said. And my other name is Tolu Ajagbe. So I basically got into photography a few years back, and that's what I've been doing. I also do content creation on the side, and I'm a YouTuber too as well. So yeah.
Photography, content creator,
Yeah.
YouTuber.
Mm.
This is a famous question I ask everybody that takes the seats. How did the journey start for you, and why did you get into this role?
So I started the journey in 2017, which is approximately 8 years ago. And I started it because of the fact that I had a desire to go into, taking pictures for people, content creation, all of that. And I just enjoyed the idea of being able to keep memories and all of that. And I think maybe because growing up, my parents were keen on doing that. So remember when they used to have those take pictures, you print them immediately, that kind of thing. So that was my first experience with cameras. It was my parents. And then just over time, I kind of developed an interest in it. And I was like, okay, yeah, definitely this is something I definitely want to go into. And then in 2017, I had reached the point where I was like, yeah, I'm going to start this thing today. And then, but I had been trying to figure out how I would start because I didn't have a camera. I wasn't necessarily close enough to a photographer enough to say that, oh, can I borrow your camera? Let me start using it to learn all of that. And then, so I'm a Christian. So I'm going to say this. The Holy Spirit ministered to me and said that I should call my dad and ask him for 100,000 naira. 100,000 naira in 2017 is I think maybe 400K now, Abi.
Yeah, with the inflation. It's been almost about.
It's been 8 years.
So I think 100,000 naira in today's currency
would be £50.
Would be £50, yeah.
Which is not too crazy.
Yeah.
But at the time, it would have added up to maybe 200, £300.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. About 200.
About £200. Yeah. Cool. And this was just off the books, no plan for it, no whatsoever. And I didn't want to sound like an entitled child. So I thought about it for a minute because I was like, okay, yeah, that's a crazy thing to just do. But you just up and just ask someone for money. Say, give me money. I want to buy a camera and everything. And when I called him, he was actually surprisingly very open to it. And then he told me to give him the reasons why I want to go into it. So it's actually solid enough for him to reason with. And I did that. And it was like, okay, I'll send it to you. And within an hour, I had the money for my camera. So I went ahead and found someone that was selling a camera and I bought from her. And that was how I got my first camera. And from there, I just kept on taking pictures of the randomest things. Started with documentary, moved into portraits, moved into events. I don't know if there's any. Well, there is. There are different photography styles I've not tried, but I've tried quite a number of photography styles over the years. And so majorly what drove me was the fact that it felt like God was leading me to do it because it was that assurance that, okay, yes, go and ask your parents. And then also it was something I genuinely loved and wanted to go into. So I decided to just take the step. And I was still in university at the time. I was in 300 level. So I was like, what do I have to lose? Nothing. And I had friends that, not friends, but I had acquaintances and people had seen that taking that step and they were doing amazing at it. So I was like, there's nothing they're doing I cannot do. So I just decided to do it. That's how I got into it.
And how's the journey so far? How's the journey been so far?
It has been a little rocky. It has been very amazing. I'm not even going to lie. It has been an amazing journey because it puts you in a space where you have to bet on yourself, right? And I feel like as much as I wanted to be in a safe place where you're oh, you have some money coming in somewhere, You don't have to stress too much about this or that. I feel like photography pushes you, if you are doing it like properly, it pushes you to be uncomfortable and get out of like that your safe space or your comfort space, that kind of thing, which is amazing. So it has been rocky. There have been very, very good times. There have been stressful times, but in the long run and like overall, I would say that it has actually been a very, very amazing journey, very enlightening, and also quite challenging at some days. Yeah.
So you took 100,000 naira,
Yeah.
which is about £50 in the currency of today, loan from your dad to start your photography business. Have you been able to pay him back the money?
Oh, he said it was not a loan. So I've not paid it back.
You're not paid him back.
I mean, but by now, the money should have added up. All the money I used to give. It's just
All the money you used to give
we
you.
used to give to him. As the father that he is now, you have to give back.
Yeah.
At least by now, the camera money is already complete.
So what style of photography are you more comfortable with now? Would you say, looking back, which part of photography defines you?
I would say, to be honest, editorial, a little bit like commercial photography, and then portraits as well. That's majorly my niche. Find me there. But aside that, I think I built myself or my brand so well that I can dabble into any like major part of photography. So even if it's events, weddings, commercial, like I said, portraits, beauty, all of those different types of photography, I've spent a significant amount of time such that if I go into any of them, I thrive. I mean, there are other kinds of photography I've not like tried out, like wildlife. What am I looking for?
So you don't want to find yourself shooting lions.
Maybe sometime in the future, but right now, no. No, I don't think it's it's not my space. I also dabbled into street photography at a point, but ended up kind of still being portraits because I was shooting people individually and all of that. So yeah, majorly I would say fashion photography, beauty photography, and overall just portraits. That's like my major niche.
Like the pictures you took of me.
Of you, exactly.
Well, does that fall under your own streets category?
It falls under street photography, but it could also easily fall under portraits or fashion.
Or fashion?
Yes.
Okay. Because most times from my experiences with photographers, when a lot of photographers say that they are shooting street photography, it is always more from a space of like, oh, we're shooting the deaths and the things that are not right in the society. Like, oh, you find the boy that has not eaten
for days, I will stop.
And it's starving. So
I think I actually don't like that that kind of path that photographers have taken in terms of street photography. I rate it because it takes boldness for you to go out and say, oh, let me go and take pictures of starving children, all of that. It has shed a lot of light on that aspect of the world. But I think what I don't necessarily like is that street photography has easily been reduced to that. But meanwhile, street photography is just about capturing the everyday life. If you live in, of whatever city you live in. If you live in, let's say London, everybody knows there's so much hustle and bustle. It's practically Lagos, right? And so if you go out, we're expecting to see people walking on the streets. We're expecting to maybe see people at work. We're expecting to maybe see red buses, all of that, or black cabs. Those things are representations for the city of London. So if I'm going to do street photography, to some extent, those things will be represented. So it's basically me shooting photography, like doing photography on the streets of whatever city I'm on. So even if where I am is the richest city in the world, and I just take a picture on that street, maybe with someone counting their dollars or their pounds or with their Gucci bag just walking, that is street photography as well.
And I think I actually like that because it is every now and then we get to see the dark in news. We get to see like the other side
The other side, yeah.
of the society, but we do not show the beauty that we have
Yeah.
well enough.
Yeah.
Oh, there is somebody wearing a pink suit that is going on out. This is a nice
A nice
suit.
picture.
Yeah, but we'll rather turn down that beauty and then point a focus on like the guy that is begging on the street. And I know this statement is coming from a place of privilege as well. Not that we're turning our eyes to say, oh, not to the beggar. If like there can be more photography, like be a balance.
Let it be
Like
balance.
yeah, like more beauty,
Yeah.
more presentable things to see on camera, and at the same time as well, like the other realities, because both are as well the reality of what we have.
Yeah.
What we have in the on the street and in the society.
Yeah, both realities are very valid. You would see people that are not as privileged. You would see people that are extremely privileged. You would see people that are homeless. You see a lot of different things in the streets. But the idea of street photography is that you're able to tell a story behind whatever you're taking. So even if it is the rich guy about to get into his Lamborghini and he's carrying maybe the shopping bags his wife just bought. Actually, she's just trotting with like shades on, coming into the car. That's street photography as well. If you're giving someone, if you're walking down the street and you see someone that is homeless or someone that is begging by the side of the road, and you think, oh wow, this is actually something to capture. This is how I can tell a story of, oh, maybe for example, we live in London, so I'm going to use London. London is not the perfect place to be, even though that's what they say it is. It says the best city to live in the world. Have you seen that? But like, even if you take that picture and then you shed light on the fact that, oh yeah, there are people that are actually begging or people that are homeless and they can do something about it. Like, let's people see that there is this thing available that they can maybe bring solutions to. That's what photography does. It tells that story. But it doesn't mean that that aspect of photography, as per street photography, is only focused on one side of that story. Because there are so many angles to that story. There are children in park, easily street photography. There's someone in a train that is just lost in his thoughts, easily street photography.
I just I was lost the other day.
Actually, like you. So like I mean, easily I was able to like walk up to you and say, oh hi, I want to take your pictures. That is street photography. Just even having you holding your box could easily, in the middle of the street with people passing, could easily tell a story of maybe you're waiting for the love of your life. These are box that you're holding. You don't know where she went. Maybe you went to go and buy something. And we're going to enter the train to travel to where we are going to when we are done. And we're easily well dressed. Maybe we're going for a wedding. Like, there's so many stories that could easily be told around what street photography is that can easily be ignored. It kind of is somehow like gets into documentary photography in a way. Street photography kind of gets into that as well, because you can always tell a story from street photography. You can decide not to. You can decide to just see something pretty and take a picture, and that's also street photography. But at the end of the day, it's being able to capture everybody's different angles, different people's stories, individually without invalidating somebody else's reality.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what story would you say you're always looking out for when
I let the story speak to me.
you let the story speak to you?
Like I don't come out with an intention, especially when I go into go out for street photography. I don't come out with an intention of, oh, this is the kind of picture I'm trying to shoot today. Most of the time I just go with the vibe. Sometimes I see like, okay, someone is about to enter a store, I take a picture. Someone is just coming out to the store, I take a picture. And it takes a lot of like patience and being able to observe the environment for you to actually see certain things that happen. There was a time I went out to like take some pictures, and I noticed that because I was tired at the time, so I wanted to take a break. So I entered this store. I think it was, I'm not going to say the name of the brand. I'm not giving them free PR. So I entered this coffee store, and I feel like people that know me already know what brand that is. And I sat down. I was just looking out their window, and I was just watching people pass by again and again. And I just noticed that like if you stayed in one place for long enough, you'd somewhere in my mind, I don't know if everybody does this, but somewhere in my mind, I create stories for people. So, for example, how I saw you, and I've already said, oh, the story could be you're going for a wedding, you're waiting for your wife, she's inside a store somewhere, maybe buying a Gucci purse, and you're just waiting for her. I've curated a story for you just by saying you sit down there. If I see someone driving by, I can just say, oh, he just got his car, now he wants to show it off. And that's completely fine. He spends the money on the car. Do you understand? So most of the time when I go out to take pictures, like in London or anywhere that I go out to take pictures, I don't necessarily keep a story in mind. I just let the environment speak to me. That sounds very spooky or weird. But yeah, that's majorly what I do.
You as a person, would you say you have like a general theme story or like a central theme story that you live your life through that influences how you see the stories around you?
I don't know if I do. I always try to find the positive side to it. I mean, if I see someone that is maybe not in that, like, such a great state or whatever. Like, for example, I was walking by the road one day. I didn't go and do street photography, to be fair. I found this lady. I was just walking by. Obviously, everybody in London minding their business. I'm like, let me just ask her why she was crying. And so I walked up to her and I was like, oh, hi. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry to intrude. If you don't want to talk, please tell me to be going and I'll be going. Me that I didn't even want to go and meet her before. And so I was like, hi, are you fine? This and that. And she just told me why she wasn't completely fine and all of that. And I just tried to help her feel better and just encourage her, and then I left, which felt really amazing. If I took pictures, right? If I was just passing by and just took a picture of the person that was crying, I could have easily made a story in my head. But she had her own story. Without me invalidating that, I still was able to create a story in my mind. I think that's what I'm always trying to do with my photography. I always try to see the positive perspective to everything because, I don't like being negative. But if I find myself in a place whereby the story might look negative, then I build my story around that. That's majorly what it is. But I always try to see the positive perspective to it. Because me, I'm always favored. Sure you get as well.
You're always favored.
I'm always favored.
I like that. I'm always favored, regardless of the situation or whatever it is. So, photography, content creation. Why did you get into content creation?
I felt like content creation just showed a bit more behind the scenes for the photography part. So I was able to show people, and I like gisting. I think you might have noticed from how much I'm talking. So I just wanted to show people a bit more perspective to my life as a photographer, some behind the scenes. I also had a few people ask specifically for that. Like, oh, why don't you go into content creation, blah, blah, blah. And since I was already doing photography, it wasn't necessarily too far from what I was already doing. So I just decided to try it out. Since then, I've actually really liked it. It was around that time I opened my YouTube channel. I opened my YouTube channel during COVID.
Okay.
And those videos, I saw them a few days ago. I was like, Jesus, was this? But I started. That was what was important. And it was, to be honest, I genuinely enjoyed creating them. I genuinely enjoyed editing it. My first video, I think I spent about 8 to 12 hours editing it. Just started, I was just editing. It's like, it has to be perfect. If I see that video now,
still not perfect.
Still not perfect. So at the end of the day, as much as I always try to make it perfect, it's not necessarily, I'll probably look back at it in a month and just think, oh, is this rubbish now? And all of that. So yeah, I think for me, for content creation was more of a motivation to show more of my photography side. Yeah, that was majorly doing what content creation has been for me.
Has he in any way been helping with the photography business as well?
Yes, a lot actually. It shows, so for example, for social media pages like Instagram and YouTube, it gives Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, the 3 major ones, of course. It gives people better perspective on what you do. And then because of the fact that the algorithm, I feel like I'm teaching people social media now, but yeah, because of the fact that the algorithm is built to kind of favor video content, when you do content creation surrounding photography is pictures. If your social media platform isn't favoring pictures in that time, you have to find a way around it. So that's how content creation has helped. It has helped to push my work to people that are not following me, or people that are following me that have not been so active. And I feel like because of the fact that I've been able to do that consistently, I've had more people get across to me and just be like, oh, hi, I saw your work, this particular place. Can you do this and this and that? And also, the second example was when I moved to the UK. I did not know what to do. I had no job. I moved to the UK for a master's, but I also wanted a part-time job. So while I was still looking for a part-time job, I just decided, you know what, the skill I have right now is photography. So I decided to use that instead. And so that was when I even started going into street photography. After after I got here, but I've tried in Nigeria, and I went into the markets to go and shoot with my camera. And I went to a market woman in front of her face. I took pictures. She said the way she yelled at me.
Oh my gosh.
She was like,
what market is that?
This one was not even in Lagos, it was in Ibadan, Bodija market. I just went there, said I should go and take pictures, went to the front of the woman, Shakam. She just yelled at me. She's like, what are you doing? What do you want these pictures for? Of course in Yoruba. So I immediately got scared. So I left the place and I went somewhere else, tried to take pictures. Some touts, area boys just came to meet me. Who is paying you for those pictures? Are you taking it for the government? Bruh, it was chaos.
No, I know it is challenging.
It was.
Taking pictures back in Nigeria.
It is very, very, very challenging. But I mean, moving here, I was like, okay, I see a lot of people actually going more and more into content creation and street photography. You can see them in London, the streets of London. Someone is just posing for the camera, taking videos, taking pictures, completely normal. Everybody's acting like it's everyday life. I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to try it out, right? And so I took my camera, went out, took pictures. I had a couple of friends with me at the time. They wanted to get something, they wanted to buy stuff in Central. So I was just like, okay, let's just use that as opportunity for it. And while I was doing that, I just told her to help me get some behind the scenes, all of that. And so I used those videos I got and the pictures I got to get my first set of at least 10 clients when I got to London.
Wow.
Yes. Because that was how I was able to now introduce the fact that, oh, hi, I'm in London now. So now I've put the geotag. People are now aware of the fact that, oh, this babe that I wanted to book. Because I've had people ask me, even when I was in London, oh, hi. Even when I was in Nigeria, oh, hi, like it would be nice to have you. If you're in the UK now, I would have loved to patronize you, that kind of thing. And so I got quite a number of requests following that. People reposted. I had my friends repost. Some people reached out through them. Some people reached out personally. And I think that video is probably on 11,000 views at the moment on Instagram, which is great for the numbers I had at the time. I think I had about 2,000 followers.
Wow.
So it pushed it really, really well. And I think that's just content creation generally has helped to push my work in that way so much. And then I also, after doing that, now started posting every single day for almost 30 days. I was supposed to do 100 days, but I did not finish that 100 days. So I did for 30 days and I got a lot of, clients coming from there, people finding me from there, and I made a lot of money. I was able to cover first and second month's rent.
Wow.
From that, yes.
From those shoots.
Yes.
And now how is your clientele in the UK?
It's growing very quickly. Thank you, Jesus. Because it's not even me. I'm not even going to lie. But I would say that it's still growing. I'm still putting myself out there. I'm still actively trying to expand my brand, getting more people to know about me. One thing I've been struggling a little bit with is networking and trying to get more people to actually find out about my work. So putting myself out there has just been online for the most part recently. And I'm working towards it being physical as well. So I can actually meet people in person. But
have you been going to events?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's part of one of the reasons why I haven't necessarily been into physical networking. I've been doing a lot of networking online, speaking to people online and all of that. Sometimes it is maybe I have a job and it clashes with something I'm supposed to go for, or I have or I just maybe have in my mind that day I just wake up and I'm just like, Jesus, I don't want to go anywhere. And I just,
Maybe
I
maybe it
just
is
at
cold
my house.
outside.
It's cold outside. It's actually cold outside. So I'm just like, yeah, I'll sit at my house. I'll do work instead. But I'm now pushing myself to get out of the house more, and that has paid off really well. Because I've met some very amazing people like you. I've met some very amazing people. Even people I didn't even know were so big. Like, I met someone one day. I said, "You are the owner of this company?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Jesus."
No, that I think that's one thing London can do to you. Like it humbles everybody.
Everybody.
You can just walk down the street and you find one popular actor.
Yes.
Or I don't know, maybe if you're a football player because everybody knows you.
Yeah.
That's when you might not be able to walk.
To just walk.
Yeah, to just walk around on the street. But London, everybody on the tube all together.
Yep. They will find you.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, funny thing is, there was someone I saw. He was on this show, Love is Blind, but UK.
Okay.
And I saw the guy, and I just finished watching, maybe 2 days before then, just finished watching an episode where he messed up with the lady, and everybody had been rooting for both of them. And I just saw him in Tottenham Court Road. When I got off the central line, I was just walking. I see this guy, I'm like, wait, isn't all this boy again? Is this not you? I'm like, yeah, but I think the good thing is that like at least you know that you're able to meet those people. You can actually walk up to them and speak to them. If they don't answer, no problem, chop your L and move on. But there is usually a very high tendency that those people respond. I've literally met Copy on the road, DJ Copy, just from going out to do something. Like I think I just went out to go and take pictures. No, it was my husband's birthday. So we went to the Tate Modern, and on the way we just met her on the road and we're like, oh my God, hi. And she's like, hi. And she actually responded. We had the whole conversation. So I think the physical part, taking yourself outside, attending networking events, has been fantastically helpful. Now it remains to actually now do it.
So now
to now be consistent with it. That has paid off, yeah.
I think one lesson I've learned over the years as well is it can be quite a struggle for you to step out of the house and have to go and meet up with people. Yeah, it is a bit of a work. If you're able to find a balance here and there and get it done, that is fine. But most importantly, I think the part I've learned is that let your products, let it just continue to like speak to you. Let it continue to speak for itself. Even if they don't know you, but they know your products. Because at the end of the day, your product is what is going to, that's what is going to bring in the money. So it is easy for you to just have your product doing the talking rather than you wanting to be in every room. That can be quite exhausting.
But I think it eventually pays off. Like if you're able to push yourself to come out. Because every time it's cold in London. It's raining. The weather is very cold. People are not nice, maybe. Or people are nice and all of that. Just finding the motivation to go out and actually network or speak to people actually really, really helps.
So what's the future like for you with your photography now that you're entering into another phase or another season of your life?
I am. About 4 months ago, I quit my day job, even though I was working practically part-time, not full-time up to and all of that, but it wasn't giving me enough time to focus on building photography as a brand. And so, or as my brand, as my brand, my business. But now I have left it and it has given me ample time to focus on building it. Now, if I'm not actually building it, it's my fault. There's nothing to blame. There's anyone. Yeah, there's nothing holding me back anymore. But I think after I left, I was able to spend a lot more time working on my brand, building that. And since then, I've noticed quite a huge difference with how I've handled it as a company in itself. Because I see my photography brand as a company. I don't see it as just, me taking pictures and all of that. So I've kind of picked it up from there. And so far, it's been good. I've had good feedback. I mean, it's not rosy every single day. You know, there have been some challenges, but and overall, I actually really, really enjoyed the process. I'm trusting God that it would work out perfectly. And also, like, at the moment, I am building I'm building multiple digital products that produce value for creators generally. So maybe not just photographers, but would definitely greatly benefit photographers. For photographers, content creators, stylists, fashion designers, even anybody that basically takes their online presence seriously, which is anybody right now. So I'm building digital products around that that would kind of help. And so that's my major aim. My main aim is to be able to help as many people in terms of branding, photography, marketing, from my own perspective as a photographer and then as a creator generally. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking to do over the next few months. And then I'm also building a community for creators. And lastly, trying to make money.
That should have come first.
No, I mean, yeah, I want to make money. I want to make a lot of money. But I think for me, a lot of the weight I have on my chest right now for what I want to do is more about being able to provide the value that I can offer. And the money will follow. I love the money too. I love the money parts. But I'm very, very, very particular about being able to provide that value to people as much as I can. Because before I used to think that maybe I don't know so many things. Maybe there are people that already know all the things that I know. And then I tested it out actually. I started creating videos on my Instagram with the most basic knowledge of photography or maybe content creation in that regard. But it's majorly focused on photography. And just like giving out nuggets like that. And I realized that a lot of people actually don't know a lot of these things that I know. And so I decided to just start from there. How many people can I help with it? Even if it's 10 people, even if it's one person that is able to, one way or the other, make their journey better in content creation. I've somehow been able to pull myself out of that space of, you don't really know that much, whatever, and just get myself to a place where, okay, even if I don't know that much and I'm still learning, the things that I know
Little that you know
can help someone that doesn't even know it. Exactly. So I've been working on creating more value, sharing more value, helping people up and all of that. Then that will produce the money.
I like that, and there was a time I used to believe as well that maybe what I know a lot of people
know as well.
Know it as well. Till I started my blog way back, and people would ask me one of the most basic questions.
I know.
Like, I expect every man should notice what's their time.
No.
But you will see people come and ask you, can I wear a black tie with a white shirt? Questions
I know.
as simple as that.
Yeah.
You will find people coming to ask you.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good one. I honestly believe that every one of us should be a teacher, one way or the other. Any lessons we've learned, we should be able to pass it on to other people to make their journey easier and save them the old stress that I've gone through. you have gone through to learn that. So let's talk about photography and fashion now.
Okay.
At what point do you feel, because a lot of people do overlook that a part of fashion industry is also photography.
Yeah.
Because without photographer, you can look all good and have the best design, but if you don't have anyone to capture it rightly,
you're not showing anybody.
You're not showing anyone. It remains in that space. You've created it. So at what point do you think photography and fashion mix?
At the point where you want to promote yourself. At the point where you want to promote yourself or show anybody what you have. That's where photography meets fashion. Photography meets fashion, literally where, to be honest, I think about it a bit differently. I think photography meets fashion even before you start creating the outfits. You don't think?
What made you say so?
If you're going to make a suit, let me use you as an example, right? When you start thinking, what color of outfit do I want to use? What color of blazers do I want to create? What kind of material do I want to use? Do you somehow subconsciously also think, how would it look in a picture?
Yeah, I do.
Exactly. That's where it starts. That's where photography starts. So even if you're thinking, I want to create these pink blazers, it's going to look superb. How does it want to look superb without someone taking a video for you? Or maybe you looking in the mirror, cool. But eventually you want to take pictures of it, right? You want to take videos. You want people to see your product. Where photography starts is from the ideation
From
Ideation
of
of
collection
whatever,
is
yes,
the design.
of the collection or of the design.
What do you think fashion designers should know about photography that they don't really know? What would you say is a common mistake you find fashion designers, the fashion industry in general?
I would say that I was going to say that maybe they're not maximizing photography as much as they should, but I think a lot of people are picking up the pace these days. There's a lot of people picking up the pace these days. Like you see a lot of people creating an outfit. Next thing they're thinking about is, oh, how do I take pictures of this, or how can I promote this? How can I take videos of that? I would say that you should, for fashion designers or people in fashion, or whether it's models or stylists or the tailors themselves, like the designers themselves, one thing that you should majorly focus on is how you can present what you have created to the world. How would they see it? And being able to pick the right photographer for your designs is also very important. Because if you are a fashion designer, you create suits, right? When you're picking a photographer, I don't think that the photographer you should go and pick is someone that shoots beauty portraits. Even though there's such amazing photographers in beauty, how are you sure that they're going to shoot your suits the way it should be shot? How are you sure that they can see the vision because they don't have as much experience in it? Instead, you should be thinking, maybe I would get an editorial photographer. If you even got a wedding photographer, there's a very high possibility that they will shoot better than the person that is shooting beauty. Do you understand? So being able to pick the photographer that would meet your expectation in terms of things they've done before and what you're looking to do is extremely important. I would also say that I feel a lot of designers tend to focus more on the process and don't think about after. So like I said, picking the photographer, that's one. Then what exactly do you want it to look like when you're taking the pictures? Because when you now approach your photographer, you need to have something to tell them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you come to meet me and say, oh, I'd like to take pictures of my suits. Okay, what do you have in mind? You need to already have had something in mind. You need to have had a mood board, because then that helps the photographer work better with you. Same thing for models, same thing for maybe even beauty brands, all of that. It makes your work as a stylist or a designer and my work as a photographer much easier and much more seamless. Now we have a foundation to work with. We can build on that.
Rather than leaving it to the photographer to
draw.
come up with an abstract imagination on their own.
Exactly. That's why you would be disappointed. That's why they would take something like, I don't really like it, but it's fine.
Because it is not meeting.
It's not meeting what you've put in your heart or what you have in your mind. So if you're able to somehow, during ideation, figure out, this is how I want it to be presented to the world, this is how I want people to see it, then it's easier for that photographer that you've chosen to now take your idea and now expand it, now bring it to life. They can put in their own nuggets here and there, their own a few bits and bobs here and there. But for the photographer to be the one to solely create that mood board for you, sometimes it works out. I'm not even going to lie. I mean, if someone comes to meet me and says I should solely create it, I don't think that I would want to create a mood board for you where you are not involved. If you don't want to be involved at all, completely fine. I would go ahead and I would do it. And there's a very high possibility very, very, very high possibility that you're going to love it. No problem. But if you don't now, if whatever that photographer has created for you does not now meet that expectation, then that means there was an expectation in the first place. And if there was an expectation, then that needed to have been communicated to the photographer. Once they have that expectation, they should be able to pick it up from there. Do you get what I mean?
I get you perfectly. Thank you so much. So
you're welcome.
The lesson there is just in the communication of expectation upfront.
Yes.
And you as well doing your own parts, ensuring that the photographer too is able to do their own parts.
Exactly.
Okay, as we round up, I would like to ask, what does fashion mean to you?
Fashion means. What does fashion mean to me? I feel like fashion for me is like, it's like comfort. I don't know. It's like, it's a way of two things. So fashion initially, right, for me, it's a way of showing people who I am, how confident I am, right? If I come into a space and I'm not dressed nicely, how are you going to look at me?
How will I look at you?
Yeah. If you are let's say you have an event, the events you have,
Yeah.
I come into that space, I'm not dressed nicely. The idea is you are to wear this and this, follow this particular style.
Style, yeah.
Let's call it that. And I come inside, or dress code, and I come in and I'm dressed I just wear Crocs, I wear crazy jeans, and I wear a dirty t-shirt. And I come in and I say, oh, I'm here for the event. How would you look at me?
Someone who doesn't care.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. For fashion is a way for me to is a way for me to communicate that I care, or the kind of person that I am. If I want to communicate that I don't care, come inside like that. But for me, it is the first impression people have of you is when they see you, what you're wearing, what you look like. So for me, that's what fashion is. And as we can see, I like to be comfortable. I've always liked to be in very comfortable clothing. And also I try as much as possible to be minimalistic in my dressing, because I really like minimalistic outfits and colors. So that's majorly what you'll find me in.
That's nice to hear. So we've come to an end. Thank you so much for coming. It's been an insightful conversation. How you started the story, and it is amazing how everybody had spoken to. The stories are similar, even though the parts are different. Just taking that leap of faith to say, you know what, I need to start this. Taking that 100,000 and from it, that having that God's feeling to say, let me go and take this man from this man, without you even knowing well enough what you want to put the money into. Know that you buying the camera is the first step to the adventure. Is very impressive. To round up, there's this game of play this or that. So it is either water or Coke, that way. So photography or content creation.
Stop now. Photography.
Photography. Lagos or London?
London.
London. Wow. What makes you?
I don't like that Lagos heat again. I've already changed. But I would have picked Lagos because, family and everything. But family is social come. But yeah, London.
Summer or winter?
Can I pick in between?
That would be autumn. Autumn.
Autumn. Maybe fall.
Fall.
Yes.
Okay, amala or pounded yam?
Pounded yam.
Pounded yam. Afrobeat or soca?
Afrobeats.
Afrobeat.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Coming. Have a wonderful day, and yeah, I'll see you at the top.
See me.